Hello and welcome back to On The Sidelines. My name is Benedict,
I'm Matthew Liam Bruni.
and welcome to episode 9 of our latest series, Off The Sidelines. Matthew, what have you been up to lately, and how are you doing overall? It's been a while since we last filmed the video.
Yeah, I've been doing okay. Yeah, I think it's been a couple of weeks now since we've posted our last Off the Sidelines episode. Since then, I've been watching more NASCAR, as I've been saying in the past episodes. I've also actually watched the kickoff to the IndyCar season a couple of weeks ago. Besides racing, I also watched a little bit of soccer too, as more sports leagues have returned in the last week or so. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. How about you?
As you can see behind me here, I'm here in Birmingham at Villa Park. I've been watching some soccer, um, tuned into a bit of NASCAR as well, and other than that, not a whole lot's been going on in my life. And as this virus hopefully starts to go away, seems to be getting better here in Ontario, and hopefully that trend continues.
Yeah, hopefully. So we're going to start off with the negotiations in the MLB between the Players Association and the owners. Uh, to say the least, the offers that have been going back and forth have been horrible since the beginning of the pandemic. With one side, the Players Association wanting to have a full prorated salary, while the owners want like a sort of smaller season, I should say. So definitely no one is really on the same page, it seems like. As of, I think, yesterday, when the owners put out a proposal to the Players Association for a 60-game season, which should start in mid-July. And the major thing that comes out of that is full salary. Ben, what did you think about the negotiations in the last little bit?
Yeah, it's been a pretty messy couple of weeks for Major League Baseball. Um, we went from being hopeful that MLB would be back within a couple of weeks to not even sure if we're going to see season at all this year. There's been so much fluctuation, and the players have been pretty vocal on social media about their thoughts on Rob Manfred and their thoughts on the whole negotiation. Um, a situation that I don't think is going to be cleaned up anytime soon, if I'm being honest. And even if it does get cleaned up to play this season, I think this will be a problem that will continue in, I think, 2022, I believe, when the CBA is up. So this should be an interesting time for Major League Baseball the next couple of seasons. As for this season, I do like the 60-game format with the expanded playoffs. We'll have to wait and see if the players and the owners agree to it. But yeah, overall, I do like the idea. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, since March, this has been really going off the rails. It feels like, or it seems like. But I'm having, as you've said, I'm also having more doubts about the season because of both sides not being on the same page. And actually, today we actually mentioned that the owners put out a 60-game season proposal yesterday. Actually, just today, the players sent out their own proposal for a 70-game season. So you can clearly tell that both sides are not on the same page. I mean, they can't really meet in the middle, like probably 65 or something like that. But yeah, to say the least, it's been very messy the last little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think you mentioned maybe just play 66 games, play like 22 series of three, maybe, or something. I don't know. Maybe a way of doing it, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling confident that we'll see a season sooner rather than later. I know Commissioner Rob Manfred said before he's 100% sure baseball will be played. The last couple of days he's since backtracked on that, saying he's not confident that we'll be seeing a season in 2020 in less than a week between those two statements. Um, what do you make of Rob Manfred at the moment? Like, he seems to not really know how to play his cards at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's definitely not. I don't think he's handling the situation well. I mean, he's definitely giving his players less confidence, especially when he said, "I'm not confident" this past Monday. Um, he's like I said, he's just horribly managed the situation. I think he also had the option to just implement like a 48, 50-game season or something. And it seems like he's not going to do that because of the recent proposal they gave to the players. But yeah, I don't think he's really being like a great commissioner right now of how he's handling this whole situation. It's especially with all the haters out there. with all the hate he's getting, I should say.
Yeah, I'm not really confident as either. I think he seems to have said the right things at the beginning when this whole situation started, and then day by day, week by week, month by 1 month now, he's just sort of slowly lost the confidence of everyone, I think. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on anymore at this point with MLB.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because like a lot of leagues have announced. I think every league at this point has announced a plan to return. Like even like NHL, NBA, MLS
At
for
least
that.
like some kind of like tentative plan, at least if not like an actual schedule, but at least like announce that they have an agreement in place should they be able to return.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a lot of uncertainty from your players, like that's definitely gonna not gonna help, especially with all the players that are expressing their concern on social media, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, well, hopefully sooner than later we'll be able to have something out. But I don't know. We're having doubts, as we mentioned.
Yeah, one of the leagues, as you mentioned, that has come back and been very, very successful at coming back, I think, has been the German soccer league, the Bundesliga. The title was finally wrapped up this week. We've mentioned a few times that Bayern Munich were comfortably in front of other teams to get that title, and on this past Tuesday, Alphonso Davies' Bayern Munich beat Werder Bremen 1-0. Robert Lewandowski scored yet another goal. I think he's up to 31 now, which is pretty incredible. And of course, Alphonso Davies wanted to be in the headlines and got himself a red card in the 79th minute. Did you watch that game at all, Matthew? Or any German soccer this week?
I actually did tune into that game to watch them win the or officially win the Bundesliga title. I also saw online that he recorded a record for the fastest run in German soccer history, which just shows how great he is at the game of soccer. Yeah, I mean, now that Bayern has officially clinched, which we just mentioned, I think now they're going to probably focus on the DFB Pokal final, which would be played on July 4th because they beat Frankfurt a little while ago. I think it's a week now or so in the semifinal. So I think it's great to see how dominant Bayern is playing, and we'll see later in the summer how they do in the Champions League, as we'll talk about later. But what do you think about the game and the team as a whole?
I think Bayern Munich obviously every other league is just starting to come back, and Bayern Munich's been back for I think 4 or 5 weeks now. But they're definitely the best team in the world, in my opinion, at the moment. Like they've just been so good. And to see a Canadian teenager, he's born in the same year as us, which is kind of crazy to think. Like playing for the best team in the world and playing almost every game, starting almost every game, is pretty special to see. As you mentioned there, they'll have a chance to win the DFB Pokal and the Champions League. So he could win a treble in just a second season with Bayern Munich. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with Davies in the future and Bayern Munich for the rest of this season as well.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's amazing to see how great Alfonso has been, especially being the same age as us and Canadian. We'll have to see. I think I agree with you too. I think Bayern might be the best team to win the Champions League when it comes back. When we'll talk about.
They're playing games. They're in form. Lewandowski's playing at the level he's capable of, which is insane. So I would definitely bet against them.
For sure.
Maybe next week we will do a segment about Alphonso Davies and another Canadian teenager, Jonathan David, who might be moving to the Bundesliga. So we'll do that next week, I think. We haven't really planned that for this week. So next week we'll try and fit that in.
Yeah, we'll perhaps stay tuned for that.
But of course, another league that returned this week, the big one, was the Barclays Premier League, or not Barclays Premier League anymore, but the Premier League. Returned after 100 days on Wednesday with 2 games, both of which, of course, are full of controversy, as the Premier League does. The first game back for the Premier League was Sheffield United taking on Aston Villa here at Villa Park, in a game that caught the headlines for a ridiculous bit of refereeing. Sheffield's Oliver Norwood thought he gave Sheffield the lead just before halftime as Aston Villa goalkeeper Orion Nyland caught his free kick but fell backwards into the net, carrying the ball over the line with him. And the goal line technology, called Hawkeye technology, didn't do its job, didn't determine that the ball crossed the line. Despite, if you look at the replays, the ball quite clearly did cross the line. And the match ended up finishing 0-0 because of a very terrible refereeing call.
0-0.
Yeah, it should have been 1-0. Which could have major implications on the rest of the season, of course, because Aston Villa now have got an extra point, which puts them even with a couple of teams above them in the relegation battle. Meanwhile, Sheffield are trying to get a Champions League spot, which is crazy after they only got promoted last season. And now they're in sixth instead of fifth. And this is the first time, apparently, in over 6,000 matches with this technology that an error like this has happened with this goal line technology. And if that's not already crazy enough, the referee didn't even consult the video-assisted refereeing, the VAR, to check if they'd made an error, which is pretty much exactly the reason why VAR exists in the first place. Did you catch any of that game, Matthew? Or did you at least see the replay of that goal?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't catch the game, but I did see the replay, and I saw the goalie go back in the net, which I just thought, wow, that's such a Premier League thing, like on their first game of returning back. Like, yeah, it was just it was crazy to watch that, like especially like all the replays over and over again. Clearly, as I mentioned, him from the behind the line, I should say. But yeah, that was definitely a crazy first game. What about you? What did you think overall about the game and perhaps that play?
I didn't watch the game, unfortunately, but I did watch the replay many times. Hard to believe that they didn't call it a goal. And the thing that's more annoying to me is not the goal line technology not working, allegedly, but it's the decision not to check it with the video-assisted referee. Because I think it was shortly after all the Sheffield players thought they had scored. Aston Villa had won a free kick, I believe, moments later. So then the play stopped. That's the perfect, ideal opportunity to go and check the VAR. I'm not a fan of VAR generally, but if you are going to have it, you might as well use it. So I think that's a pretty terrible call for the referees. I'm pretty upset. I'm not upset, but I would feel I can imagine that Sheffield United fans would be upset, as I think they would have overtaken Man United for fifth in the table.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty annoying situation to be in, especially in your first season after getting promoted from the Championship as well. Like, fifth place is a dream scenario. And if they get robbed of that now because of a terrible refereeing decision, and one that's not even debatable, like that's just straight up wrong, that's to be pretty bad for them, I think.
Yeah, especially like for a team like Sheffield, of how great they've been this season. They could have even gotten close to Chelsea. They would have been, I think, 2 points off if they would have won that game. So I think every game at this point, like every point I should say, is very important for them to move up for perhaps a Champions or Europa League spot. But I mean, it was just bad luck, I should say, for Sheffield fans and the team.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the only game on yesterday to kick off continue the season. The other game, Man City and Arsenal, with Man City winning 3-0 against Arsenal, with goal scorers, I should say, Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, and Phil Foden. It was definitely not a good day for Arsenal, also because David Luiz got a red card in the 49th, which just showed how I guess I should say Arsenal is struggling. As an Arsenal fan, Ben, what do you think about the game?
I didn't watch the game, but I was following on Twitter and on various websites, just sort of following live updates. That was a terrible game, to put it lightly. I think Arsenal had 2 injuries in the first half an hour or so as well. David Luiz came on for someone else as well as an injury, and then got sent off about 20 minutes later before halftime. So that was definitely not a game to remember for him. I would not be surprised if that's the last game he ever plays in the Premier League, to be honest. Because I'm not even kidding. You're laughing, but I'm not even kidding. Like, he's had a pretty slow but sure decline in the Premier League, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Arsenal move on from him because his contract's up, I believe. Whether or not he signs another team or goes back home to Brazil or goes to Portugal or wherever else he's rumored to be going is a different story. But that was not a very good game for him or the rest of the team. And hopefully the next game they play is a lot better than that one.
Yeah, well, I think I'm sorry about the game as you as an Arsenal fan, but I think it was just Man City being dominant as they usually are. I mean, of course they can't really catch up to Liverpool at this point. Liverpool's probably going to win the title in like this week or in the next week, whenever they play next week. Yeah. So I think right now I would assume right now Man City would be focusing more on the Champions League than EPL right now, because they want to, they probably want to rest enough for perhaps winning a title or perhaps going up to win a title in the Champions League. So I mean, it's just, I guess I should say, like you said, it's kind of embarrassing for them to lose 3-0 Arsenal. But that's all for the EPL, and of course it's going to continue on this weekend with I think, if I can't remember which other games are on. I think
I think all 20 teams are playing on this weekend. 10 games.
Sorry. Yeah, the Spurs and Man United are playing tomorrow as a notable game, hopefully more exciting.
If I'm not mistaken, Sunday is Liverpool versus Everton, the Liverpool derby, Merseyside derby. And I think if Arsenal had beaten Manchester City, Liverpool could have won the title on Sunday against their rivals at Goodison Park, which is sort of a dream scenario for Liverpool fans, to win the title, your first title in 30 years, away to your biggest rivals. But I think Everton fans have David Luiz to thank for that one.
Yeah, I definitely don't think Liverpool players are, like, just in general, they don't want to win at home, because can you imagine how crazy how crazy Liverpool fans would go, probably crowding around the stadium. So I'm they're probably hoping that they win at least this weekend, or whatever away game they play next, I guess.
And I believe I heard on the radio the other day that there's going to be police outside Anfield and around the city and around other stadiums too, just to make sure fans aren't crowding and spreading the virus. Hopefully not. I mean, and should be interesting couple of weeks for Liverpool. Imagine they'll get the title done in the next 10 days.
Yeah, we'll find out sooner than later.
As Matthew mentioned earlier, another league that's coming back for Liverpool, Man City, and not Arsenal, is the Champions League. Alphonso Davies' Bayern Munich side will be among them, as you mentioned. Matthew, do you want to sort of explain how the Champions League and the Europa League plan on coming back in the format?
Yeah, sure. So the Champions League announced that the round of 16, because there's still, I think, 4 remaining round of 16 games that were in their second leg. Those games are going to return August 7th and 8th. I don't think a venue has been confirmed for those games yet, but we'll see eventually. And then the quarterfinals will start next on August 12th to 15th with only a single leg game, not the usual 2-leg game or series. Then they'll move on to the semifinals, August 18th, 19th, and also the same, just one game, one single leg. And then the final will be played on August 23rd. And the quarterfinals to finals, I think, are going to be played in Lisbon too. It was supposed to be originally in Istanbul, but they moved it to Lisbon for the rest of the competition. And then in the Europa League, there was supposed to be also a couple second leg games. Of course, those are going to be finishing off first. And then it's going to move on to quarterfinal, semifinal, final, like as I mentioned, a single leg. I think that's all with the format. I think the Europa's happening in Germany, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, that's going to be the full plan for them for both leagues. What did you think about the announcement?
I'm glad it's back. I was worried for a little bit that maybe you wouldn't see Champions League, although I understand, or I kind of hoped they would, and thought they might because there's a lot of money involved. Obviously, one of the biggest trophies in the world. But I'm glad to see it back. I do like the format. I do like the one legs, for as a temporary 1 year thing. Hopefully, I do like the two legs generally, but in this scenario, I do like the one leg games. I like how they're doing it World Cup style almost, with sort of just like rapid fire, quick succession between games. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the plan and hope we get some good games out of it. What about you?
Yeah, it's exciting that it's going to be coming back. Like you, I was like wondering if it was actually going to come back or like wait till next year sometime or something like that. But yeah, definitely I like the World Cup style. I think that giving doing a single leg makes it more competitive. And like, one game, it's do or die in one game basically. So I think I do like that format. Um, but yeah, I think also there's still a couple second leg games in the Champions League, like for the round of 16 that are still like that still aren't really settled. So like for example, I think it's Man City and Madrid. I think the last time they played it was 2-1 Man City. So I think that's settling out in the second leg. Wherever they play would be a great finish, and also whatever the results of the other series are. But yeah, it's definitely exciting for both to be back.
And also, quick note: the Women's European Champions League will also be played in August, in Bilbao and San Sebastian in Spain, um, between the 21st of August and the 30th of August as well. So that league's also going to be making a comeback as well.
Yeah, it's definitely great for a lot of soccer leagues to be coming back right now. I was gonna say, because I mean we did mention that Bayern does have the best chance to win. Do you have a second team or a team that you think might win the whole thing?
Well, there's a lot of teams that I wouldn't bet against. That's for sure. Um, but like I don't think anyone's going to beat Bayern. I mean, I'm not really sure. Liverpool maybe, of course. Can never bet against Liverpool.
Yeah,
But
I was gonna. Oh,
sorry, go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just gonna also say maybe PSG. I mean, they don't have they're not playing a season right now, so they might have the most rest out of all the teams. Um,
Yeah,
but
their
yeah,
season got canceled, didn't it?
it did.
About a
Yeah,
month ago. Yeah.
yeah. So that could perhaps be another team too.
So
But
they pull up the list of everyone playing still.
yeah. Um,
Uh, hmm, I
so
cannot
yeah,
find it.
the remaining
Oh, yeah.
round of six. Yeah, so the remaining round of 16 matches are Man City, Madrid, Bayern, Chelsea, Barcelona, Napoli, and Juventus and Lyon.
Yeah. Liverpool's actually out. I forgot about that.
Oh,
Just scratch that. um, yeah. So the teams that are definitely qualified are PSG, RB Leipzig, Atalanta, and Atletico Madrid. And as you mentioned, the other ones that are still around. Um, yeah, I think it's not good. Now that I remember the Liverpool's out, it's I don't think I'd ever bet against Bayern Munich at this point. Like they just look so good. They're beating every team comfortably, and I said I would never bet against them at this point in the season.
yeah, yeah. We'll definitely see how much momentum they have coming off the. Well, I guess it would be the the DFK Cup,
FB.
DFB. Sorry.
Yeah. We are back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're just getting into the next league, which is coming back, which is Major League Soccer over here in North America. It was announced last week. The MLS is back tournament will be starting on July 8th and run until August 11th at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex, which is in Orlando, Florida. Starting with group stage matches before moving to a knockout format similar to a World Cup. What are your thoughts on this format, Matthew?
Yeah, like we mentioned about the champions in Europa sort of being like the World Cup format. I definitely like the format, especially with how the groups are formed out, because there's going to be 5 groups of 4 teams, and then one group with 6 teams. And the scheduling of the games too is also great because there's going to be games playing in the one game in the morning and two at night. I think it's because of the trying to avoid the Florida heat. Um, but yeah, I definitely like the format. What about you?
Yeah, I do. The 9 a.m. game, I'm not crazy about, to be honest. um, I mean, I'll get up for it and I'll watch it anyway. But I do wish it was maybe a little bit later. That will obviously help out the teams on the East Coast. But if you're a Vancouver Whitecaps fan or whatever, or a team a West Coast team, fans might not get up at 6 a.m. to watch a game. So I wish it was maybe noon instead of 9. But like you said, the Florida heat, especially in the middle of the summer, is not ever great. Other than that, I do quite like the format. I like the grouping. There's a lot of rivalry games in the group stage, which is pretty cool to see. Like LA Galaxy and LAFC are in the same group. TFC and Montreal are in the same group. A couple others as well. What do you sort of think about the rivalry games?
Yeah, I find it funny how somehow they all got drawn into the same group. But I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind seeing rivalry games in the group stage. Um, but yeah, I definitely like. It's definitely going to be exciting to watch. Like it's a way for MLS to showcase their league, I should say, and it's going to be great for them to do it in this sort of format. Also, I think after the tournament, as the commissioner mentioned, they're expected to continue the regular season, as the tournament will count for points towards the regular season. They're especially continuing after the tournament. But yeah, I think overall, I'd like all the rivalry games and everything else that's come with it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they do the regular season after this tournament is over. Whether it's behind closed doors, I assume, or whether or not they're able to travel between Canada and the States a lot will remain to be seen. So the border between Canada and the U.S., I believe, is closed until July 21st now. Got extended, so and I imagine it might get extended again as well. So whether or not Canadian teams can even play in Canada for the remainder of the regular season will be interesting to see. But yeah, I do like the idea of the group stage counting towards the regular season as well.
Yeah, I mean, if I was gonna say in regards to the 9 a.m. game you mentioned, like I'd probably get up if TFC was playing a 9 a.m. game, just to support them, of course, as a fan. But yeah, as you said, I think it might be a little too early. They could have maybe moved up a couple of hours, but as we mentioned, beating the Florida Heat is probably something they want to do.
Mostly for the West Coast fans as well. Like if you're gonna get, I mean, I assume LAFC and LA Galaxy won't be a 9 a.m. game. That'll be a 8 p.m. game, I'm assuming, because it's like the big one.
Yeah.
Like I imagine like 9 a.m. is gonna be like, I don't know, like Orlando and Miami or something, like two teams. Well, that's also a rivalry game, I guess, but two teams that aren't really established yet. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the scheduling works and how much of the games we'll actually be able to watch in Canada as well. I know TSN has the rights to 3 Canadian teams as well as the rest of MLS. I'm not sure if they'll be showing every game. They'll have to update you on that one on a future episode.
Yeah, we don't have a full schedule yet, so we'll talk about it hopefully when it comes out soon.
Yeah.
And another tournament that was supposed to start last Friday was the Euro 2020 Cup. It was supposed to kick off with Italy against Turkey, and of course, due to COVID, the tournament is now postponed until next year. And I think they also released a new schedule for like with the same teams but different dates, of course. But yeah, Ben, are you missing Euro 2020 this year, especially since it's not going to be played?
Yeah. There's gonna be a good tournament. It's gonna be all over Europe, which is gonna be kind of cool. Can't remember exactly how many countries it was supposed to be in, but it was supposed to be in quite a few countries. With England hosting the semifinal and the final as well, so that was gonna be pretty cool to see. Hopefully, winning it as well. England was supposed to be playing Croatia as well to start their tournament, which would have been cool because get revenge on them for the semifinal of the 2018 World Cup. Yeah, I missed the Euros. I really wish you could have seen that kickoff. It's one of my favorite soccer tournaments, one of my favorite sports events overall. Yeah, kind of a shame we won't get to see it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll have to wait for a year for it to start over again. So
Yeah, hopefully
yeah,
the travel restrictions will be lifted around the world by then, and because there's a lot of travel. Like if you're gonna be quarantining for 7 or 14 days or whatever after going to every single country, that tournament won't be able to happen. At least not in the way they had it originally planned to happen in several countries around the continent.
yeah, we'll have to see how everything with COVID is in a year from now. But yeah, let's hope it actually gets played.
And not a good week for me to be a soccer fan, Matthew. Pohang Steelers, my favorite K-League team, lost to the death against John Book on Tuesday morning. Arsenal got destroyed in their return on Wednesday. No England at the Euros this week. It's not a very good time. Hopefully, it is also I mentioned the 2018 World Cup just now. Today is June 18th, and it's the 2-year anniversary of England starting the 2018 World Cup. And the best summer of my life. Hopefully, maybe we'll talk about that tournament at some point over the next couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's. I remember watching England's trying to win the World Cup 2 years ago, but yeah, at least there's something. There's something in it. At least a 2-year anniversary for them winning.
Yeah, maybe later in the summer, maybe we'll do a sort of a throwback video to that tournament. We'll talk about that tournament a bit. Maybe get a couple guests on or something.
Yeah. Stay tuned for all that and much more content coming out soon. Yeah, and that's all for our episode today. My name's Matthew Liam Bruni.
And my name is Benedict Rhodes.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching.